welcome to The Perspective. I'm Nate G. Y'all should already know, alongside my main man, C. Towns. What's going on, bro?
What's up?
All right. C. Towns, do you think that Dak Prescott should be demanding as much money a year as Carson Wentz is making right now, which is about $32 million a year?
Yeah. I mean, he's deserving of it. As much as people like to argue the comparison, he's already done more than Carson Wentz. And also, too, just outside of comparing them, no matter what year you go to, a quarterback is always, the quarterbacks of that season that get paid, their contracts are always high. Like, you've seen the Kirk Cousins contracts. Even when the Eagles signed Sam Bradford, high contract.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that get paid. I mean, if people want to dig deep into how much quarterbacks are worth, what was it? The top 5 highest paid quarterbacks last year didn't even make the playoffs.
Right.
So that's why you can't always go by, who's better. But for this, Dak Prescott deserves for his negotiations to be started at what Carson Wentz's contract at, which was $32 million a year. So Dak deserves it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like you just said, it doesn't matter like who's better, who's not as good, who's not as bad. It's all about the market. It's all about when you become a free agent, or it's all about when a team wants to extend you. So Dak Prescott. So yeah. All right. So as an Eagle fan, the only reason why I'm willing to admit, and this is just my opinion, the only reason why I'm willing to admit that Dak should be paid as much as Carson, if not more. Yes, so they both came out in the same year, 2016 draft. Dak Prescott numbers as a total in the last 3 years is better, only in my opinion, because Carson Wentz has been hurt. Now I know that's a big deal. I know it's a huge deal. I know, big deal. Right. I know the cliche, your best ability is availability. I understand that, but that's the only reason why I honestly feel like he should be paid as much as Carson Wentz, if not more than Carson Wentz, because he's never been hurt. I think he's played all 16 games since 2016. Mm-hmm. So he's proven that he's durable. He's proven he's reliable. And he's proven that he could be a leader on the field.
In the locker room. And that's a big, and to me, I know they say Carson Wentz is a good leader, but to me, this season will test Carson Wentz. Because Nick Foles isn't standing over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Ready to take control when needed. Because that locker room was split. A lot of the people in the locker room follow Nick Foles because he was just a leader like that.
Yeah. It's off topic a little bit, but this season is the biggest season of Carson Wentz's career. I don't know how far back he goes playing football, middle school, high school, whatever, but of his life, of his career. Nick Foles is gone. You know what I mean? It's your team. The team is giving all they gave you the money. They gave you the guarantee money. You know what I'm saying? This is your team. Lead us to the promised land.
Yeah. So when it comes to Dak, I look at it like I'm hoping the Cowboys sign him for around like 34 a year, maybe 35.
It's going to be more than Carson. It is.
Yeah,
it's going to be more.
Well, to me, it should be. The numbers say so. He's played every game. But the biggest thing that I love about Dak Prescott is since he's been in the league, he's in second place for most game-winning drives. That matters a lot.
Since 2016.
And those game-winning drives, bro, aren't just, give the ball to Zeke. Everybody says, feed Zeke. No. We won a lot of games last year off of, hey, let's get down there, drive the ball down the field within 2 minutes. Let's get it done. And they got it done. The team followed that.
Now, listen. I'm going to play devil's advocate with you and the prospective fans. I'm going to ask all y'all questions. Prospective fans and my man C. Towns. Last year, prior to Amari Cooper being there, Dak Prescott was kind of mediocre. His numbers weren't that good.
But he had
now. Yes, you need dynamic weapons to be able to throw the ball to and get the ball down the field and all that. I understand that. I get that. But I don't know. Like, you weren't, like, Dak Prescott by yourself, you wasn't able to elevate anybody's game at all. Like,
think about
making plays, creating plays.
I got a great. I'm
playing devil's advocate.
I have a great. That is good. But what you have to think about is Dak Prescott is not a Peyton Manning. He's not someone that's going to always risk throwing the ball in tight windows to get the ball in there. Because if you're not getting separation, I'm not going to test that theory out. And there's going to be news for everybody, for most people probably. But do you know who actually had the most balls thrown away last season?
Was that?
No. Big quarterback. Big name.
Oh, Big Ben.
No, big name quarterback. Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because his wide receivers weren't getting separation. The most balls thrown away for the entire season because they weren't getting separation. Think about that. So it's not just a Dak.
I wonder where does Dak rank in that category?
No, because you have to think Dak didn't throw the ball.
No, he was
as much as I wanted him.
Right. But that's my point.
He was getting sacked.
That's my point.
Like, it was a lot that he dealt with on top of it. Again, not making excuses. He had to learn because you got to think coming from year 1 and year 2 when your line was solid, so you had protection, and then I'm not gonna lie, losing Jason Witten sucked a little bit.
That hurt him
because
bad.
Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones didn't replace the tight end. We had no name tight ends. Mm-hmm. There was nobody respected our tight end.
Your point exactly. I don't know what his name was. I don't know what his name was.
We had no tight end. And then losing Dez Bryant, I was okay with because he did lead the league in drops the last 2 years. But then we didn't replace him with anybody. We got Allen Hurns, who didn't pan out right away and then got hurt on top of that.
I want to bring up 2
Cole
points.
Beasley could not be a number 1 receiver.
I want to bring up 2 points. 2 points. My first point. Now, the Bull Gallup.
I love him.
The rookie. Going into his second year this year. Now, you love him, right?
I love him.
He creates separation and gets open, and he's a down the field threat, right? He's a down the field threat. Why was Dak Prescott not able to throw the ball accurately to that man?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because if you see Gallup and he was a rookie. A rookie coming on the field to where the only counterpart receiver was Cole Beasley. There was nobody to take focus on. Amari Cooper.
Cole Beasley is a very good slot receiver.
He's think about what you just said. What is he? A very good slot receiver. He wasn't at slot last year until.
Okay, but you loved Gallup though last year.
I know because you got to hear me. Think about defenses. If you're playing defense and it's just Cole Beasley at X and Y receiver part because he's not in slot, and you got Gallup, who's a rookie,
right?
Who are you going to double team?
Beasley climbing up the middle. Gallup is down the field.
If you put 8 men in the box, because you don't have to worry about Cole Beasley beating anybody deep. Cole Beasley does not beat anybody deep. So you put 8 men in the box, takes away the slant. Gallup now has a corner and only 1 top safety. When Amari Cooper got there and took attention off
You're making legitimate points, but all I'm really hearing is you saying that Gallup is not able to get wide open by himself.
He's not a number 1 receiver.
So then why
his rookie year, he's not a number 1 receiver. Last year he looked good.
So then why are you such a huge fan of his? But then Dak Prescott wasn't able to
Did you see what happened when he got there? You can't judge a receiver for not being able to get open when he was the only somewhat good receiver we had before Amari Cooper.
But why wasn't there connection?
Because he's a rookie.
But you loved him so much last year.
Yeah, because once Amari Cooper got there and took the spotlight.
You loved him before Cooper got there, bro.
Yes, I liked him because he had flashes of being good.
Flashes.
He did though, did he not? When Dak Prescott went down, it was with Gallup. But hold on, when Amari Cooper,
a flash is just that, a flash. That's all it is.
When Amari Cooper got there and took the focus,
it opened it up a lot more for him. Yeah,
because he's a rookie receiver. How do you just take you draft a rookie receiver and say, "Hey, you're the starting receiver now"? That's not how that works.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Name a rookie receiver that shows up like that. Besides, Randy Moss. When Randy Moss showed up in the Minnesota Vikings, was he the only receiver out there? No. He had Chris Carter there to help him out.
Right.
Every receiver needs that. You can't just show up and throw him.
As a Cowboy fan, you better hope that they because he wants a contract extension as well. You better hope that they re-sign that man as well because he needs weapons.
What I laugh at is people use last year before Amari Cooper got there against Dak like they don't remember Carson Wentz's first season when he didn't have Alshon Jeffries. He didn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Carson Wentz's first year was not that good. At all. Was not that. You can look up his stats. His first year in Philadelphia was not that good. Everybody's excuse was, oh, he don't have the talent. But for some reason, people don't use that for Dak.
All right. To that argument, I'm going to say Carson Wentz's numbers wasn't as good as Dak Prescott's, but what he showed his
year one.
I just said that Carson Wentz's numbers wasn't as good as Dak Prescott's in 2016. It wasn't.
It wasn't good at all.
His skill set was crazy. Like every in the pocket, out of the pocket, throwing down the field, accuracy, escaping, running out of trouble, escaping the blitz. You know what I'm saying? Was like to this day, I feel like his skill set. To this day, I honestly feel like, and I'm not just saying this as an Eagle fan. I honestly feel like his skill set is much better than Dak Prescott's. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I will say that. I feel like
Dak Prescott's numbers are better because Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. I'm going to
tell you like I've told you before off camera. Right now, I have Dak Prescott being better than Carson Wentz.
Wow, bro.
Dak Prescott.
Numbers. Hold on, numbers, yes.
Let me finish. No, I feel that Dak, it's not about just numbers. Dak knows how to win the game. How many game-winning drives did Carson Wentz win last year?
Do you forget 27?
Let me finish. No, forget all of that. MVP? What about stop going 2 years back. Last year, his game-winning drives were trash against Tennessee. Inside the 30. Let me finish. Go ahead. Tennessee Titans inside the 30-yard line.
Yes, he closed games last year. Yes, I give you that.
So if Dak Prescott gets it done, he gets it done. Now this is what I mean. Dak Prescott is better. Now Carson Wentz, to me, Carson Wentz's ceiling is higher than Dak's. Carson Wentz has the potential to be a top 2 quarterback with Patrick Mahomes once Tom Brady.
Wait, so how do you? I'm confused. How do you think that Carson Wentz's ceiling is higher than Dak Prescott?
The same argument,
but he's not better than him right now.
Okay,
skill set wise. I'm not saying numbers wise.
Here you go. The same way.
I'm hearing two different things.
The same way people say Tom Brady is better than Aaron Rodgers, but people say Aaron Rodgers is the most gifted quarterback they've ever seen. It's the same thing, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I give you that, but
I'm not holding anything against Carson Wentz. I do feel Carson Wentz will be a top 2 quarterback if he just, like you said, this year is a real big year for him. He doesn't have to worry about looking over his shoulder, fans chanting Nick Foles or whatever. He has to show up. If he shows up this year, wins the division,
the point you just made, it's a good point. I admit that, it's a good point, but I need to see their first 3 years. I need to see a bit, because right now we're talking about their careers. We're talking about Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz first 3 years in the league. I need to see what their numbers are in the first couple of years.
Right now, games.
Tom Brady.
Dak Prescott played 48 games.
No. I'm saying I need to see Tom Brady.
But that doesn't matter. We're not talking about just the first 3 years. I was just talking about right then, right now.
No, bro. We're talking about who's the better quarterback right now.
Right now is Dak.
I don't think it is.
Here you go.
Only because he's been healthy. That's why.
That's not just the case, though.
No, it is just the case. He's missed.
Do you want to hear the numbers?
How many games? Carson Wentz has missed like 11 games.
So let me follow me here. He missed those games, right? So if you played less games, that means you should have less interceptions, right or wrong.
Answer the
question. You didn't even answer me.
Answer my question.
Answer my question, bro. I just asked you a question.
Has Dak Prescott ever had an MVP season or MVP season?
What does that matter? Does Carson Wentz have a playoff win?
Has Carson Wentz for the reason I just got this saying how many times he's been hurt, bro. That's the only reason why.
But you didn't even answer my question. If you play 15 games and I play 23, I should have more interceptions than you. Yes or no?
Carson Wentz.
Oh my
year,
God!
Carson Wentz. I understand what you're saying, but Carson Wentz hasn't played as many games.
But again, that gives you an advantage.
All right, he has more picks, playing less games. I understand.
That gives you an advantage. If you only suit up 8 games and I suit up for 16,
coming back.
I should have the probability of me having more interceptions is higher than yours.
Okay, my reasoning for that, him throwing more picks and less games, is because it's coming back from injury. Again, this all comes back to him not being able to play because he's hurt, and then when he comes back from major injuries, he's rusty. Nobody's going to come back. Hold on. Nobody's going to come back from major injury and just come back and play lights out MVP like he was before he got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, you're not taking into consideration.
So what about year one? What's your excuse for your first season? He played 16 games, and he did not outplay Dak. And what do you have to say about it?
Did Carson Wentz have a crazy running game like Dak had in his first year?
Oh my God, that's excuses.
Excuses?
That's an excuse.
Bro,
that's an excuse.
Bro, as a Philly fan, I'm literally in a pains me to admit this, I'm literally admitting to you that you have the best running game in the league. So you give
as a rookie, we're talking about rookie season. That Ezekiel Elliott was not crowned as the best running back.
Yes, he was.
Not now.
In 2016, he led the league in rushing yards.
Hold on, do you hear yourself? You're talking about after the season. I'm talking about midway through the season.
Bro, he was balling all year. Are you serious?
Midway through the season. Yeah, and guess who else was balling? Dak Prescott. He didn't throw
because he had that crazy running game to rely on. Are you serious right now? He had that crazy running game to rely on. What are you talking about?
So by your logic, there's a lot of quarterbacks that didn't have a good running back that's better than John Elway because he had Terrell Davis? Is that what you're about to tell me right now?
So you're
crickets.
Wait, no. Nah, bro. Because when you say certain things, I'm like, is you really saying this? You're really saying this?
So you're trying to tell me?
So as great as John Elway was, you don't think that Terrell Davis had anything to do with that greatness? He was a great running. He's in the Hall of Fame for a reason.
So
Terrell Davis,
answer my question.
Zeke Elliott's going to be in the Hall of Fame if he keeps his pace up. He'll be in the Hall of Fame as well. Tell me I'm lying.
But I know, but you're not answering my question.
What's your question?
So did Terrell Davis handicap John Elway's greatness?
Did he handicap his greatness?
Yeah. No, that's basically what you're saying right now. I'm not. You're handicapping Dak Prescott's season.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not handicapping anything. I'm saying that I'm saying the reason why Dak Prescott had a better rookie year than Carson Wentz because Dak Prescott had a bell cow running back to hand the ball to ball out all crazy.
So all right,
he had a crazy bro.
I'm gonna use your argument against you. So by your logic, I can say Dak Prescott didn't have an MVP season the year Carson Wentz did because he had no receivers. Because y'all had Alshon Jeffries, all pro. I can use that argument. Does that make sense?
No, because you're telling me right now that Carson Wentz wasn't balling out all crazy by himself.
No.
Stretching plays.
No. Do you want to hear his first?
He wasn't at all in 2017.
I got you.
In 2017,
no.
You just said
I said because of Alshon Jeffries, though. I'm using that argument. Now you said Dak Prescott. Bro, was doing well.
Okay, clearly in 2017, you were not watching Eagles games like that.
You're not listening.
I'm not listening. You're not listening.
You are. Listen real quick. Calm down. Just listen. You just said, hold on. You just said Dak Prescott balled out because he had Ezekiel Elliott. I'm telling you, so can I use the same argument? Hold on.
Are we still talking about skill set? Are we still talking about
skill set? Bro, let me finish.
No, the topic changed like how many times?
Well, we're talking about Dak versus
skill set. Who's better? Not
it's not about no, bro. It's who's the better quarterback right now.
It's Carson Wentz.
No.
Yes, it is.
How?
He's a better bro.
What supports your argument?
You already said yourself that his skill set is better. That he can do way more things than quarterback.
His ceiling is higher.
His ceiling is higher. Why?
Because he has more potential.
Exactly. You just said it yourself. He has more potential. That's what we're talking about.
Let's break this down for Nate.
Tell me this man ain't tripping right now. Perspective.
Let me go. Let me break this down.
You said he has better ceiling and better perspective. Am I tripping? You're all hurting.
Let me talk.
Go ahead. You're not saying nothing. You keep changing the argument.
Let me talk. You still talking.
You keep changing the argument. We're talking about the skill set.
Yeah. No, we're not. You brought up skill set, bro.
We're talking about who's the better quarterback. Carson Wentz.
Yes, you
literally just said the same right now that Carson Wentz has a better ceiling and not just that, a better skill set.
So, shut up for a second. Jesus. Oh my God. The words you just said was who's better. The word skill set never came out of my mouth.
Bro, we've been talking about skill set for the last how long now?
So
the last 25 minutes.
No, I said that Carson Wentz's projection on who could be the better quarterback depending on what road he takes, is higher and greater. But that's like me saying, so hold on. Again, I'm going to give you an example.
I don't get it.
Before Michael Vick got arrested, he was projected to be a great quarterback. Yes or no? Was he projected to be a great quarterback?
I mean, it's talking about Michael Vick.
But it makes sense.
Like what?
It makes sense, though.
When I'm talking about Michael Vick.
Okay, let me use somebody else.
Get your man,
Before injury, was Carson Palmer projected?
John Elway, Michael Vick. Like, bro, stick to the topic, man. We're talking about Dak Prescott.
You're not making sense, bro.
We're talking about who's better, bro.
But you're not making sense. All right. You want to?
Does it go without
Carson
saying?
Wentz played 16 games. He had 16 touchdowns. So he averaged a touchdown a game with 14 interceptions.
Are we talking about last year?
No, first year.
His first year, bro. His first year. I already told you, bro. I don't know how many times.
You keep making excuses.
I don't know how many times that I have to admit this on camera and to you. I'm not saying that his numbers as a whole. I'm talking about the last 3 years. I'm not saying that his numbers are better than Dak Prescott's. I just feel like because of, I keep saying it. His injuries, bro. He's gotten hurt. How many times? He's gotten hurt the last 2 years.
Who cares? Cry me a river. That's not my fault.
But he's still a better quarterback. That's my point.
The numbers are there, bro.
Yeah, bro, the numbers are there, bro, because Carson Wentz is healthy. Well, let's understand about that.
Here's the greatest stat of them all. What's Carson Wentz's record against Dak Prescott?
He's a losing record.
Exactly.
He's a losing record.
How many NFC East championship division titles does he have? 1. How many does Dak have? 2. How many playoff games did Carson Wentz play in? None.
And again, this just goes back to what I've been saying.
That's not my fault.
If he's not on the field, of course he's not going to be in playoff games.
Every time I see Carson Wentz get hurt, I just think of that YouTube meme. And when they hear, he needs some milk. That's all I see. Because he do. Bro, you're making me hate him right now because you're crazy right now. You're tripping.
Nah, bro.
He's right now, before the season starts, Dak Prescott's better than Carson Wentz.
No, he's not.
His numbers are better than Carson Wentz.
Because he's more durable? That's the only. That should be your only.
I mean everything he's better than Carson Wentz at. He's more durable.
That's it.
He can manage a game better. He can win a game.
Next question.
When the drive matters.
Next question.
He can win a playoff game.
Next question. Who led the league last year in fumbles?
Okay.
Who led the league last year in fumbles? Okay. That don't matter. That don't matter. You're the quarterback. Your job, your number one job as a quarterback is to protect the ball, and that's what he did not do. He led the league in fumbles. I was with you. How many times I watched the game? I was with you. How many times? He put it back on the floor. It's back on the floor.
You're sweating profusively.
Because I'm destroying you right now.
Let's think about this.
Because you're getting destroyed.
Let's think about this right now. He led the league in fumbles.
He's getting killed right now.
You realize we had not 1, not 2, but 3 offensive linemen out. Does that not matter?
Bro, that has nothing to do.
What?
That has nothing to do. Bro.
So O-line don't matter?
Wait. All those fumbles he had last year, that had nothing to do with him, like just being careless with it, like not tucking it, not like all the fumbles. He had a lot of fumbles.
Let's bring up everything that we already talked about. He led the league in fumbles because O-linemen were hurt, for one. In the first half of the season, who was his receivers? Let's talk about the stats.
The receiver that you love. Gallup.
Let's talk about what happened after Amari Cooper got there. Who had the...
He bought out all crazy because Amari Cooper...
No. Who got
Amari Cooper changed that whole team around.
Who got him the ball? It's not like Amari Cooper caught height, threw the ball to himself and caught.
Dak did, but Dak still fumbled the ball. Dak still put the ball on the floor, on the carpet. He did, yeah.
Bro, you're
listen,
really,
man. Listen,
it's okay.
Listen, man. I know. Yeah,
when the Eagles lose,
I'm sweating so crazy right now.
When the
because I'm giving you this work.
It's not though. You're not making no sense.
No, you're not making no sense. That, bro. We're talking about.
You're saying Carson Wentz is better.
You're talking about,
but you can't even prove why. You have nothing to support your argument.
I literally just got done telling you why. He's a better.
At what?
In my opinion, he's more accurate. He's better. He's better. He's better with escaping pressure. He's better with.
You said more accurate.
He doesn't fumble the ball nowhere near Dak Prescott.
Listen, I'm trying. You can't give me one thing and then not let. Hold on. Let me. He's not even letting me talk. You can't give me one stat and not let me rebuttal the thing that you just. What came out your mouth? You just voiced it. You just said he's more accurate. But I'm looking right here. His completion percentage is higher. His QB rating is higher. he has less interceptions than a quarterback that played less games. So explain to me how the hell you are more accurate. As Stephen A. Smith will say, that's blasphemy. That doesn't even make sense.
Who's better with escaping pressure? Who's better with protecting the football? Who's better with escaping blitzes?
I got you already.
Who's better? Who's a better?
Wait. You just asked me a question.
Who's a better scrambler?
Okay, I can answer your question. Hold on, you said, I got you. Rushing yards, the last 3 years. Dak Prescott, 900.
Again, Carson Wentz
missed
like 15 games.
Are you gonna let me talk? No, but see,
bro, everything comes back to that.
Let me talk, bro.
Healthy. That's
I hear you, but let me
point.
talk, bro. You can't just keep talking over me. You made a point. I'm going to shut it down. Dak Prescott, 944 rushing yards. Carson Wentz, 542 rushing yards. Dak Prescott, 18 rushing touchdowns. Carson Wentz only had 2. This is a microphone. I'm dropping it. What are you saying? You have no stats to support your argument, bro.
Again, literally, if Dak Prescott played as many games, if Dak Prescott missed as many games as Carson Wentz missed,
he'd still have a higher rating. How do you, bro? There's a reason why they don't start the MVP voting and Pro Bowl voting after the first 5 games. Why? Because people aren't even eligible to be voted for unless you have a certain amount of games played, a certain amount of passing attempts. Because why? Your percentage is going to be higher than everyone else because they have more attempts. He played more games than Carson Wentz, bro.
Now,